Welcome to East Turkestan TV News. 2 years after United States recognized Uyghur genocide, rights groups warn time is running out. Religion news. If China's genocidal policies and colonialism continue, Uyghurs and other Turkic peoples will cease to exist, said one activist. 2 years since then, United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called China's repression of Uyghurs a genocide. Rights groups and political leaders continue to demand an end to China's human rights abuses. Time is running out, said Salih Hudayar, Prime Minister of the East Turkestan Government-in-Exile and leader of the East Turkestan National Movement, at a news conference Thursday, January 19. If China's genocidal policies and colonialism continue, Uyghurs and other Turkic peoples will cease to exist as a people within 50 years. The East Turkestan Government-in-Exile is an exile government that sees itself as representing East Turkestan, a region China calls Xinjiang, meaning new territory. It's the historic home of many Uyghurs, who are predominantly Sunni Muslim, and other ethnically Turkic people. Both the East Turkestan Government-in-Exile and East Turkestan National Movement advocate for the end of Chinese occupation in the region, which was most recently colonized by China in 1949. Memti, strategic advisor of the East Turkestan Government-in-Exile, said, "The world has an inescapable, scared, and humanistic responsibility to stop the genocide." Speakers at Thursday's conference said, "The violence can only be halted via East Turkestan independence." They noted that while the overwhelming majority of Turkic people from the region practice Sunni Islam, the movement for independence is not tied to any form of Islamic extremism. Ghulam Yagma, president of the East Turkestan Government-in-Exile, announced that the exile government and the East Turkestan National Movement would soon be releasing a 300-page report to combat Chinese propaganda about East Turkestan and the Uyghurs. A 9-page summary of the report is available online. China has long targeted Uyghurs in East Turkestan region, where there is history of tensions between the group and the Chinese majority Han people. In response to the Uyghur independence movement and an uptick in so-called Uyghur attacks against civilians in 2014, which East Turkestan groups claim were actually carried out by Chinese intelligence operatives, President Xi Jinping began detaining reportedly more than 1 million Uyghurs in prison-like camps for alleged infractions, ranging from having more than 2 children to wearing a headscarf. Despite global attention on the plight of the Uyghurs, China has unilaterally denied accusations of genocide and forced labor. While the government acknowledged the existence of the camps, it called them vocational education and training centers and said they were designed to promote counterterrorism. The government maintained that the centers closed in 2019. The United Nations has been unable to confirm whether the camps are still in use. But in a 2022 report, the United Nations contended that the legal and policy framework that underpins the operation remains and could be re-engaged at any time. The United Nations report detailed mass detention in camps, where Uyghurs and other Muslim majority groups endured forced labor, birth control, abortions, and unidentified injections. Detainees interviewed for the report also described torture, sexual violence, and being in a state of constant hunger and surveillance. They said they were forbidden from speaking their language or practicing their religion, and were subjected to overt political indoctrination. Since January 2021, other governments, including Canada, France, the United Kingdom, and Netherlands, have joined the United States in condemning China's actions as genocide. In December 2021, Congress passed the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which presumes that products made in East Turkestan, so-called Xinjiang, were manufactured with forced labor and blocks them from entering the United States. But the leaders at Thursday's conference said those actions fell short. The only way forward for people of East Turkestan is to restore our independence and our freedom, said Hudayar. That's the only way to truly end the genocide and ensure the survival of our people. The only way forward for people of East Turkestan is to restore our independence and our freedom, said Hudayar. That's the only way to truly end the genocide and ensure the survival of our people. Iltaber from East Turkestan TV News reported.